What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter?
The letter of the day is D.
For divorce. Welcome back to the show, guys. So I made some notes tonight. I've already decided doing this that I'm going to break this up into 2 episodes. The second one will not be right after this one. It'll be on a later day. I just realized the amount that I want to talk about when it comes to this subject far surpasses the time frame that I want to put into an episode. So if you're watching today's episode to get kind of the backstory or the facts about my personal divorce, turn off this episode because I'm not going to spill any of that tea. This is not going to happen here tonight. It's not needed. There's enough out there for me. I already put enough of my life online and just not this time. I'm just going to talk about divorces in general and kind of in my personal perspective on divorce after my divorce. So this is post-divorce, Adam. Got some notes here that I took. The first thing is, if Katy Perry could go to space for 5 minutes and become an astronaut, then I am technically a skin cancer survivor. Recently, I have decided to go get a spot on my chest checked out, and it turned out to be basal cell carcinoma and pre-cancer. It's kind of like they said there was like a little couple double spots, but they removed it from my skin. I have a nice hole, looks like a bullet hole over my heart. And if that's not beautifully poetic, actually, it's funny. On a quick note, they were talking about how I might have a scar. And I'm like, you promise? You promise? They're like, we can maybe fix it for you. I'm like, no, dude. Hope it's gnarly, dude. I want to remember. I did everything I thought in my life by this weird American checklist. And I got the big shop, and then I bought the dream home, and and I watched the dream home year 1 get hit by a tornado, year 2 get hit by divorce. And I said it. I was like, yeah, year 3, I'm going to get cancer. And I don't know why I put that into the universe, but it's 100% my fault. And my bad, universe. But that's where the buck stops. So yeah, it's my fault, ultimately. Don't say things, guys. Words matter. We need to be more of a witch in this world and understand that our words are spelling, and we're casting spells. And that, you put things in the universe, it really matters, Today's episode should really be called C for communication, because it really is everything. Look down to even what's happening right now for you. You're watching an episode of a show this guy puts on YouTube called A.S.S, and it's just him talking. I mean, we crave communication. It's no wonder that documentaries and podcasts are the number one thing in the world right now. We have all the entertainment at our fingertips that we could ever dream of ever having, more than anyone in this world has ever had before. We have all of it now, and we spend our days listening to people talk. And we won't talk to our loved ones. We won't open up. Well, it's hard for me to talk, and I have to write everything down. Then write it. Then text it. Record audio files on your phone, voice memos, and send those. If you're having a conversation with your partner where you just can't get a word in, I laugh because it was totally something that I was plagued with forever, right? My brain moves so fast. And then I have this thing in my brain where I start to say something and then I forget what I'm talking about, or I've already finished it in my brain. I'm already moving on to the next subject. And trying to communicate with someone like me it's hell. I'm divorced for a reason. You know what I mean? So see how see what I just did? I stopped talking about something midway through. It's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get into my personal kind of beliefs so you guys can kind of know where my advice today or my perspective is going to come from. If I were to draw a 6 for me, you're going to see a 9. And it is a 9 for you, but it is a 6 for me. So I'm not asking you guys to agree with everything. This is the ramblings of a madman today. Let's get into it. I do not believe in equality. Is that long enough for people to clip it, put it online, and cancel me? I don't. I believe that we're all equal humans. I believe in human equality. I think we all should be able to, have the same rights. I believe in equal rights. But when it comes to, I'm straight, so I'm going to use the men and women situation. When it becomes to a man and a woman, no, I do not believe that we are equal. There's a pedestal that I put women upon. But I believe that when a man and a woman come together in a relationship, for me anyway, it makes a superior being. Like, I cannot be the ultimate person without the other person. It's like Power Rangers, man. You know what I mean? And we're not equal. On the Power Rangers, you guys remember the Power Rangers, right? So like you got all these dudes and, no one knew who they were, but yet they always wore the same colors every single day and went to class and they were always gone at the same. Anyway, it should have been easy to figure out. What I'm getting at is that the Power Rangers came together and made a super big badass robot guy, right? I'm not a super fan, so I don't know what it's called, but the robot dude, right? And he's like, oh, well, one person was his arm and one person was the head. One person was the dude's leg. Okay. You see what I'm saying? But they didn't matter. Like, I don't know if the leg guy ever got jealous of the dude who was the head, but I mean, it kind of sucks, right? Like, one of you guys is the head of the robot. That's the dude, man. That's your head. You know what I'm saying? People aren't looking at him in the leg. They're looking at him in the eye, right? Oh, look at you. You know what I mean? Look at me in my shin when you talk to me. That's not happening. But where is that at? Where is that at? They're not. They're a team. It doesn't matter who's the leg or the head. They're both important. We need them both to be a full person here. This is the worst analogy I've ever come up with in my entire life. And I love it. Moving on. I don't think equality is a thing. And so my perspective with this is I believe that we need to look at people with ultimate respect on both sides equally, but understand my perspective is that women are at higher regard than us. And I do that in my own personal life. And I understand that making this episode is going to make it hard for me to date anyone in my future life. I've just realized in my divorce boundaries that I've had to really acknowledge in myself and then honor my own boundaries. And that's one thing I want to make sure I say before I forget, because I will forget. There's too much to cover in this episode. I got all the advice, dudes. Every bit of advice. Best way to get over someone's good under someone else, man. Oh no, the best thing you need to do is go date anyone to find out what you like. Oh, it's like, how about we don't? Herbert, no, Scott. Like, how about we don't involve other people and use other people to figure out what we want? The best advice that I have for you, my friends, if you're going through a divorce or breakup or anything really in life, is that all the advice I got was wrong for me. All of it. I rarely, and I was always grateful and yep. But it wasn't it. And I knew it wasn't it. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, not for me. Who? And I could have just been like, nobody knows and I'm just depressed. Or I go, that's the best advice I have. Is that everybody's advice was the wrong advice. And that was the best advice that I needed. See, I just listened to the universe about it. Nobody knows anything about anything. Nobody knows. Talk to the happiest married people. Are they? And then what do they deal with to become the happiest people? I know some people that let themselves get ran over and they're blissfully happy because they get all the benefits. It's like, well, I get to live in the house. Well, but your spouse is never home. So you have to make a decision. Like the decision is maybe right for them, but not for you. See, but they don't know what's right for you because they only know what's right for them. It's the perspective. It's I have a 6, you have a 9. We're both seeing the same number, right? Like, so if your spouse is gone all the time, well, then you don't have your spouse all the time, but you can't live the lifestyle you want to live if your honey is home from work all day long. Like, oh yeah, babe, you're always here. Well, now we can't afford the house because you're always here. I have to work if you want the lifestyle. You can't have the spouse and the lifestyles. You have to decide on what's more important for you. And I think that's the thing. It's like, the grass is always greener. Well, the grass is green freaking everywhere. My advice there would be is the grass is greener, but if all you're doing is drinking the water and not watering your grass, the grass is always going to be greener somewhere else. If someone's nurturing that grass. I hope that came out the way I thought that it would come out of my brain, because put a little effort in. You know what I mean? A relationship to me is 100-100, not 50-50. I heard a comedian say this. I can't remember who it was. Chris Rock comes to mind right now, but it may not be him. I'm not sure. but he was talking about how relationships are not hard. And how he knew that was because two people can move a couch. And I laughed. I mean, that was hilarious. And I was like, yeah, try to move a couch by yourself. It's really difficult. So if you're in a relationship and it's really hard, it's because one of you guys is not lifting the other side of the couch. And I just want to delve into that example a little bit harder. Like, a lot of it comes into communication. Hey, we're going to carry the couch to where? And so when you first start dating someone, ask them the hard questions. How are you with money? What is your sex life? What kind of sex do you like? What are you into? Because if you're vanilla or you're freaking sherbet, like I need to know like what flavor, you know what I mean? Like that matters. These things matter. Well, you don't ask someone at the first date. Well, why the hell not? Do you want to spend more of your life wasting on someone that like, hey, what are you into? Do you like to sit around and play video games all day long, or do you like to go hiking all the time? Because, sometimes I like playing video games. Sometimes I like hiking. Like, you got to ask the hard questions. You got to communicate the right things, and you got to understand that like it takes the effort in. And so if a relationship is 100, then you're like, okay, well, today I'm only 80%. Well, then your partner is 120. Or if they're 50% today, you got to be 150. And this is astounding math for a tattoo artist, by the way. I want to give myself props. So when you're having someone and you're communicating, ask the hard questions first. Where's the couch going to go when we're moving it? Like, seems silly, right? Well, the living room. Well, did you communicate that? What if they want this couch in the dining room? That may be wild for you. You know what I mean? You get with someone who's a party person. They like to drink, go to bars and clubs and stuff all the time. You meet them at a club because you went out with your boys that night to try to meet a girl. And then when you meet her, you're like, oh man, this is love of my life. You guys start dating. And then a couple years into marriage, she's still wanting to go to the clubs. And you're like, I thought you would change that. Well, did you communicate that? What if you asked that person, hey, you want to go to clubs tonight? Do you want to do the clubs all the time? Like if we're going to date, like if we get serious and have like a kid, you're going to not do clubs anymore. I don't want to be with someone who's going to go to the club all the time. Like, is this just something, were you just there that night? Like I went by chance with my friends and I, go a couple times because it's fun, but is this something like you want to do every day? Or was it just like a one-time thing? See, now I'm communicating and asking the hard question. And we don't do this because we fear the answer. What if she's like, I'm going to get wasted every day of my life and grind on dudes? And you're like, well, that's not cool with me. Well, then we're not going to be together. Well, I don't want that either. I'd rather not be alone. So then you just accept it and then you resent her for it. And then later on in life, it's a problem. Communicate where the couch is going to go. What if they want the couch to be up against the wall, up long ways so no one can sit on it? She just likes the way the couch looks sideways like that. Ask where the couch is going to go. And then you're like, hey, I'm going to move the couch upstairs. Okay, well, who's going backwards? See, this is that equality thing I was just talking about. One of us is going to have to walk up backwards. So one of us is already getting the short end of the stick. It's a harder job to walk up backwards than it is carrying it down below. But if you're communicating, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to walk up backwards, but we need to go slow. So if you start going fast and pushing on me, I don't want to fall down and break my face. So I'll tell you when you're going too fast. See, now we're communicating. The whole thing is communication. The letter of today is C, communication. And these are my opinions about it. There is no absolutes. We live in this society right now where they're like, the married just want to be single and the single want to be married. The old want to be young and the young just want to be old. Absolutes. I think the only one that would relate to me to be absolute on that is, the sick want to be healthy and the healthy take their health for granted. None of that's true. It may be circumstantial. Sure. Yeah. I know some old people like, wish I was younger again, man. You have no idea. Then I know other old people are like, I can't wait to die. Can you just let it end? Why do they have to make drugs so damn efficient nowadays? And now I learned on Fox News that they're going to be replaced. No, you know what I mean? Like some people really, maybe the healthy are like healthy and they don't take their health for granted. They're actually working their ass off. And they realized the trick was to, not make money and then spend all their money making health. Maybe they're just trying to be as healthy as they possible. They watch what they eat. Maybe they watch what they eat. It's not absolutes. Everything's absolutes nowadays. And it's not. And things change. People change. Every 7 years we change on a molecular level, right? I was with Jackie for 20 years. you just start to assume. And I feel sometimes like, you don't know me. I've known you for 20 years. Yeah, but you don't know me because I don't know me. So I know you don't know me. And then you get imposter syndrome in your own relationship. You're like, I have this romantic side I never can get out. I want to write this poem and show you my song. And like, oh, another Adam song. Yeah, Dad Rock for the win. And you're like, no, this one's different. Then you start playing it like it's the same song. And you start becoming comfortable and just assuming that you know, but people change. People have different influences in their life where they keep evolving. There is no absolutes. Well, like we got the couch and, couch problems taken care of, like Fight Club. Don't have to worry about the couch anymore, Got the big, beautiful house here, a year later I get hit by a tornado and then, divorce. Like things happen. And that's life, man. Nothing lasts forever. Water the grass while you got it. Take drinks when you're thirsty, but communicate, Let's see here. My pages and pages of notes. Like, so I'm gonna do another episode because there's just way too much to cover on this one. I'm gonna have a guest join me. I just don't know who that guest is, so don't be waiting, holding your breath for that conversation because you're just gonna be as disappointed as you are in your marriage. Waiting. What is marriage? Sweet marriage. What is it to be in a relationship with somebody, to be a friend of somebody? It's witnessing, right? I mean, truly, isn't that what it is to witness somebody? You know what you have to do to witness somebody? Pay attention to them, watch them, communicate with them, learn from them, explore them. I mean, wow, I've been with her for 20 years. She knows everything about me. Well, if you're not telling her the new developments of you, does she? And then you're always so shocked when your spouse does something. You're like, what? You did that? You're at a party and they say something that comes out of your mouth that you find foul. What? You feel that way? Oh, I've always felt. You voted for who? Oh my God. Ugh. I still want to sleep with you, but did you guys know that I used to do, I had a small, tiny little stint of modeling for Hollister. And if you Peter Pan me and, Robin Williams me and push my face back, you'll see it, right? Well, Jackie knew me then. We've been together since we were 18. But you don't know me then. So there's a bond there I have with her, right? Because she's my witness. Did you guys know that I was a bail agent for a while and gained a bunch of weight doing that job, sitting around bailing people out of jail, finding out if people have warrants and letting people evade the authorities, doing a bail agent job? Jackie did. Did you know that the tattoo shop that I have now, currently, right now, the Salt House, that room right there, there's a mural started on the ceiling, and where that was going to go and what that was going to be? Well, she does. And it doesn't matter if we're divorced or not. She'll always be one of my best friends. We have kids. She's the mother of my children. That's a whole nother thing, where she's always going to be my witness. How many of you guys right now are fantasizing about a guy or a girl that you guys knew in school or your high school sweetheart? And you do it subconsciously, of course, right? You could be happy as hell in your marriage, but you wake up and you go, I dreamt about her. Why? Why did I dream about making pizza at Gambino's Pizza in Louisville, Nebraska last night? Because that's part of my history. You don't miss her. You miss who you were. And she's the only one in the world who knows who you were at that moment in Gambino's Pizza. So it's like she's attached to that. She's my witness to that. My high school sweetheart will always hold a big chunk of my heart because of that. That was my first real love. Witnessing. But in order to witness, like I said, you guys have to pay attention. You guys have to ask the questions. 100, not 50-50. Got here, one thing I learned dating this gal a couple months ago, look to grow young. I never had that perspective before. It was a beautiful perspective I learned just by listening. I was like, well, I don't want to find someone to grow old with. No. I want to be young and childish forever. I'm going to be 38 in less than a month, and I feel like I'm 16. My body doesn't feel like I'm 16, but the brain is childish and immature as hell, as you guys know. That's why I have all these sound effects. Is that a bird? One more. I like it. I just have on here too, like in the notes, everything you love will be lost and gone one day. Everything dies. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching the episode. No, everything does end one day. And that's what makes us precious, right? That's what makes the moments precious. Right now, you're watching this episode and this guy's talking right now, and the moment you're watching it is gone. Now it's gone. It's already passed. You can rewind, but it doesn't matter. The first time you watched it's gone. It's never going to happen ever again. The air today is never going to be the air ever again. Your meal will never be the meal ever again. It's precious. But what happens, we get into the mundane part of our lives in a marriage, and you just start, what do you want for dinner tonight? I don't care. Okay, well, what about this place? I don't want that place. You just said you didn't care. You just were driving down the road. All right, this place. Okay, don't like. All right, well, I chose a place you said you didn't like it, even though you said you didn't care. So then you start going, the next time we have this fight, I'm going to choose a place in particular. And the one that I always went to for the last, couple decades was, oh, you don't care where we eat? White Castle. Ugh. Well, that was my choice. You did that on purpose to make me choose. Sure did. You know how awesome food could have been? How romantic food could have been? The shoulda, woulda, coulda. What do you want to have tonight? I don't know. What do you want to explore? Let's go to some place we've never been before. If it sucks, we can laugh our way through it. Right? Let's go on an adventure. Let's drive 2 hours, go have a hamburger somewhere. Who cares? If we have the time, kids will enjoy it or they'll hate us. We'll listen to freaking bad lip reading all the way down. Shout out to the new Yoda song. Let's figure out what we want out of our life. Eating should have been exciting, but every couple argues about eating, right? Every couple has that thing. Well, we forgot that the meal we go to, if we went to Applebee's or White Castle, those sliders are never going to happen again. I know some of you guys watching right now are going, good. The slider shouldn't have existed in the first place. But some of us are fatties and we like White Castle. Eat it. I mean, honestly, how's it still open if nobody eats there, huh? It's like the Nickelback of fast food, okay? It's the Nickelback. Everybody hates it, but yet they sell it every damn show that they play, and they make multi-platinum records still in an era when no one's even buying any records, okay? Shut up, eat your double seasoning fries, and enjoy that freaking red cream soda with your sliders, all right? Everyone likes colonoscopies. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. We all have an energy. Just don't give it away for free. Like I said, the best advice I got was I got wrong advice from everybody. Don't give away your energy for free. You guys do you. Just realize it's other people in the world, that there's all kinds of other people in the world. And if you're watching this right now and you're alone, then there's 4 of us. There's you that you know, and the you that I now know as my person watching me. And then there's the me that you're watching and you're making up your own assumption of who I am by what's being, catered and clipped and edited for you to see. And then there's the me that I actually know myself. So there's 4 of us. And I feel like that's something too, just know that when you're trying to get over someone else, who's the person you're getting underneath? Who are they? What are they like? What are their souls like? Was that energy wasted on you? Did you waste your energy on them? Do they have good energy? Just because someone's an ingredient doesn't mean it's a good ingredient. What if it's been sitting on the shelf and it's rotted and you throw it in your soup? Now you took an ingredient that is rotted. Did you check to make sure it's not damaged goods or rotten fruit before you put it in your smoothie? You know what I mean? Just drink it down. Best way to get over another smoothie or another drink is make a smoothie. This is terrible advice. I know it's terrible advice I've got. Have your boundaries, know your boundaries, stick to your boundaries. I've walked away from dating a couple people here recently too, and I've got called all kinds of names for it and stuff, but it's because I have my boundaries. I know my boundaries. If you go to a concert and there's a ticket price to go to the concert, you pay the price of the ticket to go to the concert. If you want a better experience, then that costs a certain thing, then you pay that price. You're not trying to argue it out. You can look for deals and stuff everywhere else, but if someone wants to do the VIP package, go meet the band and whatever, they pay for it. Set your price, keep your price, honor your price. That's your price. And if someone wants to go have a little bit more of a VIP experience with you, make sure they pay that price too, because they're going to respect it more if they had to pay for it. They're going to care more. If you go backstage for a band because you got in there for free and you take a photo and it lasts 2 seconds and you're like, oh, click, click. Nice to meet you guys. See you later. And you're like, man, that was great. I didn't even have to pay for it. If you paid $800 for the exact same experience and you went backstage and it was 2 seconds and you left, you're like, that's it? Dude, I paid $800 for this. Right? I paid the price. That's what I got. Sometimes you do that a couple times and you realize, I'm tired of paying the price for these people. Maybe I should do some research on what I'm actually after and buy into the right VIP experiences, because if there was only some way to find out by communicating with someone when I'm dating them in the beginning what their VIP was going to include, then I would know if I wanted to pay that much to go to it or not. Isn't that funny how that works? You're precious. Your time is precious. Your life is never guaranteed. And just know that if you're unhappy, make a change. And that change could be as simply as going, hey, honey, I'm unhappy. What can we do about it? You know, is your partner going to match your energy? What if you matched your partner's energy for 2 weeks? Would you last? Would you want your kids, your hypothetical kids, to date you or your partner? Communicate these things. But this next episode, I'm going to go into like different things like this. Here's one of the statistics I wrote in all my notes, okay? 1.4 million American women are on OnlyFans. 1.4. 1.2 is 18 to 24-year-old women. I mean, that doesn't really affect me at all because 18 to 24, that's far too young to anyone I would personally date anyway. 10% of all women are in that age group. Do you know how many American men are on OnlyFans? 165 million men are American on OnlyFans. 1.2 million between 18 to 24 and 165 million are American men. 90% are married, and they're mainly white men. Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up today. An episode will drop once a month. If I can get time to do more, then I will do more. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys got something out of it anyway. But ultimately, like I said, to just reiterate and recap, this is why I didn't make episodes for a year. All of a sudden got a divorce. It was not in my life plan. It never is. Hope you guys enjoy the content because I'm going to keep making it whether you do or not. Stay clean out there.